The state of Minnesota is trying to combat vaccine hesitancy by making it as easy as possible to get vaccinated. If you're still looking to get a vaccine, you can walk right up at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. The site is part of a vaccination effort by the Minnesota Health Department. Until May 4th, anyone 16 or older can walk in or make an appointment for a free shot. One of the factors contributing to vaccine hesitancy is misinformation about vaccines being spread on social media. The role social media plays and the impact of big tech is one of the major topics in a new book from Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. The book, Antitrust, is a call to action for both lawmakers and consumers after what the senator says is decades of neglect that have left too many corporate mergers go unchecked. And joining us to talk about her new book is Senator Amy Klobuchar. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks, Esme. It's great to be on.
Well, you admit in your book that this is a topic that appears dull and Byzantine on the surface, but it affects every aspect of our lives. Tell me about that.
Well, I have tried to make this topic very readable and understandable for people, and even interesting to read, because people need to see that when you look at why did my cable bills go up for so many years, how come EpiPens or insulin cost so much. I tell the story of a children's heart valve drug that I found out about from a pharmacist at Children's Hospital in Minneapolis that had gone up astronomically when one company bought both drugs, so that there was no other choice, and they jacked up the price from $81 a treatment to $1,500 a treatment. So you wonder why this is happening, including misinformation. It's because consolidated control, and there's monopolies, and there's no competitors. I believe in capitalism. I worked in the private sector for almost 15 years, but when you don't have competition and you just have one big bully or one big company, bad things happen.
Right.
And the misinformation is an example of it, because we'll never know if Instagram or WhatsApp on their own could have had better controls on misinformation or privacy, because Facebook bought both of them.
Right. Well, one of the things that you really point out is who's minding the store, and the fact that people really have not been focusing on this for decades now. Both Republican and Democratic administrations, there's been a scaling back of people that are involved. Let's talk about that Facebook merger with WhatsApp and Instagram in 2012 and 2014. Was no one paying attention?
There were so many mergers coming their way, and they've later, like Gene Sperling, who was a major economic official during the Obama administration, he said, now when we look back at it, we know that we should have done something. Well, and the Trump administration also let a number of those mergers through, but by the end, I will say, under the leadership of Chairman Simon at the FTC and a guy named Macon Delrahim at the Justice Department, the Republican administration brought these tech suits at the end, and now the Biden administration is taking them on and continuing them in a big way. That's worked in the past. That's how we broke up AT&T, when it was not just one partisan choice. It was both parties deciding to take something on. And so when you get back to Facebook, there's no reason that you can't look backwards. That's what's happening now, and say, just like we did with AT&T, wait a minute. Maybe those mergers at the time seemed small, but when you add it all up, it's a big problem. And I think Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Facebook, said it best. They found an email when they did some investigating over in the House that said, he said, in his own words, we'd rather buy than compete. In his own words, these may be nascent, smaller companies now, but they're in our brands. And then he said, they could become disruptive to us.
All right.
That's not a reason you buy a company. They're buying a company because they want to be a monopoly.
Right. And some of the things that you write about is that these mergers have become so entrenched in our way of life that they're reinforcing some of the biggest problems in our society, including income inequality, including socioeconomic differences in terms of people of color. I thought that was a really interesting look at a much bigger picture that most of us don't take the time to look at.
Exactly. And it's not that all big companies are bad here. I'm not mad about their success. I'm glad. We have a lot of great companies right here in our state. But the point is, if you have a monopoly, you don't have reasons for employees to compete for wages, right? They have one place they can go if they have a particular skill. It makes it harder for small businesses. They may start up, but it's harder for them to grow, especially women, minority-owned businesses, because you have one big monopoly controlling everything. I think one thing we haven't talked about, Google, 90% of the search market, and their app stores that they have, Google and Apple, We just had a hearing with Spotify, Tile, and Match.com. What brought those three companies together? They have to pay 30% of what you buy from them, from the App Store, over to Google or to Apple. And I don't think people understand that. It's a huge deal because they're monopolies. They can do it.
Is it time to break some of these tech giants up?
It's not time to destroy them, obviously. They're great, innovative companies, but it's time to say, like we did with AT&T, you know what? It's not right that you have these companies that allow you to put your own products ahead of other things. It's not right that you have bought out the whole market and so there's no competitors. So you basically require them to what's called divest their assets, to break up parts of them, to make sure there's conditions so that they can't favor themselves. One great example that Europe's taking on right now, Apple or Google literally tells the people that advertise in their app stores, like a Spotify, you can't tell consumers that they can get a better deal on your website.
Is this more on the radar? Is Congress paying more attention, do you think? Because of books like yourself, I know that other Senator Josh Hawley's written a book from a very different perspective,
Yes.
but on this same issue, I mean, are people more focused now, do you think?
They are, in a bipartisan way. We've had some amazing hearings on this so far, and I think that's really important to the solution here. Throughout history, it was, Adam Smith that brought up the father of capitalism, the standing army of monopolies. Senator Sherman of the Sherman Act was a Republican. Obviously, Teddy Roosevelt, a Republican. Then you had people like William Jennings Bryan. When you tell the story of history and you see these amazing characters, as I brought out in the book, of the woman that invented the Monopoly Board but hated monopolies, and you get to the present, you can see how this has worked in the past and we can make it work again. But people have to get a bit up to speed on what's happening, because I just can't do this alone in Washington because there's so many big interests against it. And then you have to start a movement again to at least change the laws. I have 25 ideas at the end of the book. Change the laws and make it easier to enforce them and give the resources to the agencies to do it.
Well, the book is out now. It's available for sale. It's also reviewed in the New York Times Book Review, and I believe they gave it a very positive review, calling it surprisingly readable, which is a compliment, I will say, because it is readable for such a Byzantine topic, as you mentioned. Really interesting historical anecdotes.
And 100 cartoons.
And 100 excellent use of political cartoons. Really, really good. All right, Senator Amy Klobuchar, thank you so much.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
It was great to be on, Esme.
All right.